Boy, the way Glenn Miller played
songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
There's a show that I grew up with that used to be great called All in the Family with Archie Bunker, and it was a fantastic show, but they kept it going too long, and by the time they finally pulled the plug on this patient, he'd been dead on the gurney for so long, and I don't want to go out that way. I don't do a lot of conventions, you know, historically. I've not done very many at all. And, you know, somebody came by earlier and said, you know, is it a drag, you know, for you to come and do this? It's like, this is one of the greatest joys you could possibly do. I mean, these are the guys and girls who appreciate what you do and allow you to do what you do. If it weren't for all these people who've come out to this convention to come and see me, I couldn't make a living drawing comic books, which is something that I love to do. So I'm very grateful to be here. That's why I interact so well. They're like family, extended family. So I like them more than some of my family. I've always been more of the guy in tights kind of guy, you know, and but the very first opportunity that came my way was for a title called Gore Shriek. You know, it was the first opportunity, so I went through the door, obviously. And then I did work at Marvel doing conventional superhero stuff, Quasar, X-Force, you know, but when Todd, you know, wooed me away from Marvel, his stuff tended to be dark. I consider myself an illustrator. If you give me Barbie, I'll do Barbie. If you give me something dark, I'll do something dark. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily that I gravitate toward horror, but what I do very much enjoy after so many years of doing horror is I like the dark grittiness. So if I was to move to another book, I would try and put myself into something that I could still use the big, heavy, dark shadows and a lot of detail and a lot of grit. That is what I really am about. You know, as a lot of you know, I've done a lot of Spawn. And I just said, when, you know, 100 is going to be the last issue because it's a cool number, 100, you know, a landmark. And you know, I felt I was like at the top of my game. I was producing good artwork. And but you know, doing Spawn for so long, you start to get a little bit tired, you know, and I knew that eventually that's going to start to reflect in the artwork. So I go, I want to quit while still the fans like it, because, you know, I don't want them to go, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm sick of that guy, you know. So that's why I quit at issue 100. And you know, looking back at Spawn, you know, very, very proud of my legacy of having done so many consecutive issues in a row. So in that respect, I'm very, very proud. I'm very disappointed to see that Spawn no longer has the same success as when I was on the book. But the thing that makes me, you know, again, proud is that the fans didn't love somebody more than me. They love me. They really love me. So that's always good, you know. The thing is, you know, I don't kind of like predict the duration that I'm going to do something, but I've always said, you know, that a guy who does what I do, you know, comic book artist, should never, ever, ever, listen, kids, I'm talking to you, do less than 1 year's worth of work. I don't think it's fair to the fans to come in and jump on, do 6 issues, and give them the system shock of bailing out on the book. So you are always guaranteed with me, with no matter what I do, you're going to get that minimum. So I'm on haunt for at least a year, and I'm hoping that it'll go longer than that. I know that I want to return and do my third part of the Creech, so I'll have to figure out how to balance it all. But you can count on me giving a year's worth of haunt, and probably it's going to end up being a lot longer than that. So Robert Kirkman has said, as long as you draw the book, I will write the book. I still have a great love for Marvel Comics, but Todd is kind of at odds with Marvel Comics, and after so many years of working with Todd, you know, we're like brothers, you know. So, you know, if somebody picks on you, then I can't be friends with them because they're picking on you. So, I mean, it's kind of an odd thing because I don't have a personal axe to grind with them at all. So it's unforeseen. DC wasn't able to like afford me. And so anyway, but who knows what that would mean in the future. I don't discount anything, and you know, I love some of the DC stuff, and I love obviously a lot of the Marvel stuff. I grew up with Marvel comics, so I won't say that the door is shut on anything. Did the Corn Father Leader cover, and then Iced Earth has always been a fan of Spawn and myself, and so they used some Spawn artwork for a couple of their albums, and then they actually commissioned me to do an original piece for one of their others, Wicked This Way Comes, I think it was, and then I recently did a gatefold painting for Disturbed's 10,000 Fists, and painted myself right in the picture. I had a full goatee at the time, but a lot of places, they don't want you to sign your name on the cover, they want to credit you inside, so I said, watch this, and I painted myself in the picture, and they didn't know it was me because they never met me, you know, and so unwittingly, they took that one picture of me that I painted on the front, and they blew it up really huge, and now when you open the CD, you got the CD here in my big mug, like this over here. I go, perfect! I didn't get to sign it, and you plastered me all over the place, so it really worked out well. Last summer, you know, broke up the band. It turned out to be a good thing because now I don't have time because I'm back doing Haunt, and that's taking a lot of my time, and I'm doing paintings for World of Warcraft and, you know, paintings for Todd. So, but yeah, it wasn't really a heavy metal band. It was like a cover band that worked in bars, and we didn't try and go too heavy. Like we tried to do the stuff that was on the radio now by the newer rock stars, but did some of the old stuff by like Guns N' Roses, you know. So there was a bit of everything for everybody. You know, we'd play Sweet Child of Mine and then do something by Puddle of Mud or some other, you know, band that's happening now. So it was more of that kind of deal. But yeah, guitar player had the Zakk Wylde Bullseye. You see, I love Black Label Society. Bleed Black Label, kids. Bleed Black Label. So anyway, yeah, check those out. Zakk Wylde rules. And I don't get paid to say that. I really think he does.
I want to see the Barbie book.
You want to see the Barbie book? It might be X-rated if I take over, though. You know,
it's cool. It's cool.
We'll get G.I. Joe to get off on leave, and he'll go visit Barbie and go, you know, forget about Ken. He's a punk. Let me show you what real loving is, baby. You know, and he'll whip out his big gun. You know, it'll be very dirty.